Hello guys, and welcome back to another analysis as we analyze Chelsea's 3-0 against Wolves. And this was quite a dominant performance by Chelsea, and I'm so impressed with the way Chelsea managed to manage this game, deal this game, and how Chelsea were able to actually control the game. You know, the main aspect is controlling the game. Alejandro Garnacho registered 2 assists, and I'm starting to see a player who's gaining that confidence. He's getting happier day by day, building that confidence, and you can see there is a player in there, and it just takes time before he actually blows up. Again, I want to pass my congratulations to Wesley Fofana. He has been so phenomenal since getting back to injury, and you can see there's a difference when he plays with Chalobah. Super good defensively and super fast when it comes to covering. However, I also want to point out something about Enzo Maresca, and just to try and give a holistic point of view where I think Chelsea are this season, because their stats actually look quite well when you compare with last season's Chelsea. Now, let's look at this. Chelsea are currently seated third, 6 points behind Arsenal, 2 points behind Manchester City, and Chelsea are going into the international break into the top 3, which I think at this time and at this juncture is quite well. Now, when you look also at what we call the goals scored, Chelsea are second, and they're just 3 goals behind Manchester City. So you see that Chelsea are also scoring more. So Chelsea do not have an attacking problem. And Chelsea have only had defensive issues when they got the 3 red cards. Now, when you look at the club expected goals, you still see that Chelsea are actually creating more chances even than Manchester City, meaning that Chelsea, when it comes to the attacking output, generally, they are the most attack-minded team. However, in the negative, Chelsea have actually received 3 red cards this season. And when you look at those 3 red cards this season, 2 of them costed Chelsea points and actually costed Chelsea 5 goals. So if you probably don't have those 2 red cards, probably Chelsea are higher up in the table. So before we even start, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe, and let's immediately move to the tactical analysis. Now, Maresca has been quite different from the way he used to be, and that is the way he looks to build up. Nowadays, Maresca asks Sanchez to go direct, and I like this about Sanchez. And we also saw Sanchez doing this a couple of times in this game, going direct to attack that space in behind. The same thing Sanchez also did when we faced Tottenham, pushing many players so that you go man-to-man with the opposition backline, and then using Sanchez's excellent kicking rate to play balls over the top in those spaces, knowing very well that players like Neto, Garnacho, and Delap will outpace their opponents. This is the Spurs game, and look at it. Look at the position that Sanchez is at, and look at where Sanchez is. And what you notice is that Sanchez is able to get this ball and play that ball directly in that space where he expects runners to be making runs. Here, the ball has been played, and look, Spurs, who committed many players in the press, are now running back because Chelsea are having so many pacey players looking to make runs. And Pedro Neto has always been the outball for Chelsea in these kinds of scenarios, giving Chelsea that extra advantage. Now, if opposition teams decide to drop their lines deeper because of this space, what happens is that Chelsea are able to create spaces in between the lines. And this is where a player like João Pedro comes in. Now, João Pedro is that player who floats in behind the midfield of Caicedo and Fernandes, looking to receive the ball directly from Sanchez or the centre-backs in space. And in this case, we have seen scenarios where João Pedro is receiving this ball with a lot of time and space, where João Pedro can even look to turn. And in this scenario, this gives Chelsea an extra dimension to the way they look to play. Because now, if João Pedro is able to receive this ball here, and he's able to actually receive this ball in space, and having players looking to make runs in behind, players like Garnacho, players like Neto, players like Delap, who are super fast, then it means that João Pedro can look to turn and play. But João Pedro is not so effective here, unlike if you have Cole Palmer. Like in this scenario, João Pedro, sometimes you might find him receiving the ball here and then he doesn't make the correct pass. But imagine now that Chelsea will have Palmer back after the international break, and then Palmer will be picking up these positions. And you know very well that if Palmer is picking up these positions, the opposition is finished. Now, Chelsea faced a team that came quite reserved, looking to sit in that 5-2-3 structure. But again, I said, whenever you see teams sitting like this, Chelsea will automatically look to outnumber them by pushing a fullback forward. And this fullback this game was none other than Malo Gusto. Now, you look at this structure here, look at the way Chelsea are looking to build up. They're now looking to just use two center backs to build up. Look at the position of Kurela and look at the position of Fernandes and Gusto and Caicedo. Look at them. Now, here Chelsea have the ball. And look at Fofana. I like Fofana. Fofana did a great job in that Fofana could see space ahead. And once Fofana saw space ahead, he will look to take the ball and drive with the ball forward. Here, Chelsea are looking to build from the back, and now in this case, Wolves have decided to use two players to press the centre back. Cucurella has dropped deep to receive the ball, and look at this scenario here. Chelsea are looking to try and draw many players to them. Now, in this scenario here, Chelsea have the ball, and look at the position of both their fullbacks and their centre backs, and look at how Chelsea have so many players swarming that midfield position. Now, here Fofana has the ball, and you can see that Wolves are only using one presser. So Fofana now has space on the ball. He's looking to carry the ball forward. He's looking to draw this player to press it so that Caicedo can receive that ball in space. Chalobah was so good playing as this central ball playing center back in that Chalobah constantly knew where to angle his passes and play the ball. Like in this scenario, Chalobah plays the ball to Caicedo, Caicedo plays the ball to Fofana, and Chelsea are now looking to create that wide overload. Look at how Gusto is looking to make that run into that half space position, because Gusto wants to take out the wing back so that Neto can receive the ball with space. Another thing that I have to tell you is the way Chelsea, especially the wide centre backs, Fofana in particular and Cucurella, look to constantly push forward. And this happened because Wolves committed so many players deeper, and that allowed Chelsea centre backs to have that space, to have that energy to commit more players in that attack and look to swarm that attack with so many players. Now, one thing that created is that it created triangles all over the pitch, on both sides of the pitch, that allowed Chelsea players to constantly have that numerical advantage in those wide areas. And because of these numerical advantages in those wide areas, Chelsea constantly had players who they could look to rotate possession with. Look at this scenario here. Chelsea have those three players in those positions, and look at how they're looking to manipulate the ball. This is again a pass. So in this case, Chelsea have created that wide overload that is able to allow them to stretch Tottenham's defense. Here again, Chelsea have that triangle in the wide area, and they're looking to isolate Tottenham's two players. And this is actually creating more Tottenham players to step out to try and stop this overload. And you can see it here. Look at the position of Fernandes, look at the position of Kurela, and look at the position of Garnacho. They are looking to create that triangle. And this triangle is what has made Chelsea be able to manipulate the half space and the wide space regions. And if you're able to manipulate the half space and the wide space region, then it means you're automatically at a position where you're able to affect the way the game is actually being played. So I'm super happy with where Chelsea are. Last time we went into the international break, I think Chelsea were probably around 7th. Now they're around 3rd. And again, you come back from the international break. The first game is Burnley. Very good. Fernandes will not be going, and players like Palmer and Fofana and Lavia get more time to rest. And that is a plus by itself. So what do you think? Leave your comments in the comment section area below. And once again, thanks for watching, and see you in our next video.